Good God, Sony, you liars!
How dare you?
I mean, what's gonna happen when I'm a very old man and I die? Who's gonna be around to correct your fucking mistakes, Sony? Listen to me. I just want to set the record straight before the record becomes its own thing. Sony just posted this. How does pizza factor into the history of Twisted Metal? They query. The 1995 Classic is part of the PlayStation Plus Classics catalog. Great, enhanced with up-rendering, rewind, and more. It's really good versions, both of them. Certainly Twisted 2. I don't think Twisted 1 holds up. Here's what they show you about how pizza applies to the Twisted Metal. Look at this. Ooh, did you know an early concept of the game started out as a pizza delivery simulator before pivoting back to card combat? Surprise, surprise. No, it's not what happened. Let me give you the skinny. I'm never gonna get used to this fucking X here. Look at this shit. No, here's what happened. So when myself, Mike Yam, Alan Becker, and the folks at Single Track, Kellen Hatch, Scott Campbell, Michael Jackson, different one, actual name though, we're trying to figure out what this game was. We started it going, we want to do card combat, but then when it actually was time to design, we were all like, well, what does that mean? Yeah, how do we get people to move around? How do we motivate them? What's defense? What's offense? And I think it was Michael Jackson. Never gets old. To me, to him, he probably wants to kill me. I think it was Michael was reading Snow Crash, and I think it was by Neil Stevenson, like a cyberpunk thing. And in that book, the protagonist was pizza delivery guy, I believe. And he was like, hey, well, what if we have you driving around delivering pizzas? That'll kind of... I don't think we were citing Crazy Taxi, but I think he was like, similarly, that'll give you a reason to be going from A to B to C to D. And then the car combat's happening around you because it's competing, if I remember, pizza drivers and delivery drivers, what have you. And I remember this come across. Here she come, Macaulay. I will take you to the opera house.
How dare you?
Listen, I remember the fax comes through on the fax machine. This is how long ago it was. And it was this idea. And, you know, I was a dick at the time. I was like 24, and I was just mocking it mercilessly. I was such a dick. I should have just been like, hey, because fundamentally, at a design standpoint, and ultimately that team went on to do Road Trip 2012, which it wasn't a pizza, but the idea of picking something up, delivering it to kind of flesh out the relatively shallowness of car combat, certainly as it was evolving, and realizing there wasn't a lot that we'd come up with to make it that deep for most players anyway. I was just like, you know, I appreciate it now, but at the time I'm like, no motherfucking way it's going to become a pizza delivery fucking game. That's so dumb. Smart, actually. I mean, I'm glad we didn't, because it would have been a wrong decision. But all I could see was the pizza delivery. And I'm like, no, this game's got to be rough and violent and edgy and cool and badass and heavy metal. And I ain't delivering fucking pizzas. So I just shit all over it, which is just a terrible, terrible, childish way to respond when you're in your early, mid-20s. But I had never done this job before. I didn't know. I don't think I ever said it to Michael Jackson. Don't tell him. But I did very quickly say, yeah, we can't do this. And so I just want to be clear on this, where it says, an early concept of the game started out. It started out as a pizza delivery simulator and pivoted back. So no, what happened was we were trying to figure out what the moment-to-moment gameplay was. Somebody said, hey, how about a pizza delivery game? Here's a couple of pages on a fax. And we were like, yeah, no. And then we never heard about it again, except in, you know, little stories like this. So this is the actual truth, my friends, behind the Twisted Metal pizza. Is that the only time pizza ever factored in? Probably. Do you know, I don't know why I'm saying this now. It has nothing to do with pizza, but do you know Mr. Grimm in 2012's Twisted Metal was going to be, before he became the guy who went back in time and shot himself and all that, he was going to be a guy who was like a gangster, and he wanted to be like the fucking king of the city. I think I was watching Daredevil a lot at the time. And so he wanted to be like the kingpin. And as Calypso does, he twisted his words. He says, I want to be the king, make me the king. And Calypso had been playing chess earlier, so he puts him on a chessboard, and he's shrunk down, he's tiny, and Calypso picks up like a pawn or something and just smashes him and leaves a bloody pulp all over the chessboard. That was the original Mr. Grimm 2012 ending, but of course we went with the other one. Hey fellas, be well. Stop lying, Sony. Idiots. Idiot.